Welcome to Circuit Studies, where we break down each F1 track race by race. Today's lesson is on the Australian Grand Prix. So the Australian Grand Prix is held at the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, and the first Grand Prix held here was in 1996. However, the first Australian Grand Prix was in 1985. Now, in terms of the race, it has 58 laps, 14 turns going clockwise, and the lap length is 4.278 kilometers. There are 4 DRS zones that you see here, but only 2 detection points, and the speed trap is located just before turn 1. So this is where we'll see the highest speeds being detected. The circuit is considered a medium to high downforce circuit, and that's because we see higher speed corners rather than the longer straights, and Pirelli have elected to bring the C3 as the hard tyre, the C4 as the medium, and the C5 as the soft. This is typically a one-stopper, but we will see a high degree of track evolution here, and this is because the Albert Park circuit is not a permanent circuit. So as more rubber gets laid down throughout the weekend, not just through F1 but through the support series as well, grip will increase. Now, do you remember George Russell's incident from last year? Well, at turn 6 he crashed his car, and essentially his car was propelled back onto the track on its side. Very dangerous. So we have seen some track changes this year. So the curbs through turn 6 and 7 have been modified to hopefully stabilize the cars through that area a little bit better. We've also seen AstroTurf being removed. We've seen gravel traps being extended, as well as Tech Pro barriers, which are a little bit more sophisticated than my drawing. This has all been done in the name of safety to hopefully mitigate any incidents like that happening in the future, because nobody wants to see that, but it's all been done in a way that doesn't really affect the characteristics of those corners too much. So the margin for error at this track is very small because the track is tight, the walls are close, the grass is slippy, and we might actually see some slips and slides because Sunday we're seeing a 91% chance of rain. And finally, some things to look out for ahead of the race are top stories. So of course we've got 6 rookies on the grid, 4 of whom have never driven in a Formula 1 race before, so could be very interesting, particularly with the rain on Sunday. We'll also get an idea of the team order. Where do each team stand in terms of the performance? So something to look out for. Another thing, will we get an Australian win their home race? We've never had this before, and Oscar Piastri in that McLaren, there's a good chance for it. Of course, Lewis is at Ferrari now. He's never driven with the Ferrari power unit, so I'm particularly interested in that point there. And of course, it's a home race for both Oscar Piastri and Jack Doohan, who I hope get points, if not a win for Oscar, because I think that will be very, very special. So there's your Australian Grand Prix circuit study, all ready for the race. I'll see you when it's lights out.